This video may contain content that may not be suitable for some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. While the video shows and talks about people born with genetic or mental disorders, this video was not made to discriminate or disrespect anyone with any of the following health issues, illnesses, or diseases mentioned in this video. The opinions and views expressed in the video do not represent the opinions and views of Canon Home Videos. Canon Home Videos cares about people with genetic and mental disorders because Mr. Canon Home Videos himself has autism and a learning disability. As this video talks about real medical information about people born with genetic or mental disorders, this video was made for entertainment purposes only and should not be taken seriously. This is planet Earth. We all know it as home. Earth is unique, an immense ball of rock 25,000 miles around. It is a refuge. 1/3 land, 2/3 water, and an atmosphere rich in oxygen. It is the only known home in the universe for living creatures. Earth is home to many forms of life including plants, animals, and humans. 1,000 years since the last ice age. The human population has more than doubled. Babies are born into the world every 9 seconds. All people are born differently. Some are born with a genetic disorder. Genetic disorders is a category of diseases that includes certain types of birth defects, chronic diseases, developmental problems, and sensory deficits that are inherited from one or both parents. Some are born with a mental disorder. A mental disorder is characterized by a clinically significant disturbance in an individual's cognition, emotional regulation, or behavior. It is usually associated with distress or impairment in important areas of functioning. And there are some who are born without a disorder. But no matter how you are born into the world, everyone gets sick. Despite all the vegetables we eat or vitamins we gulp down, sooner or later pathogens such as viruses and harmful bacteria infiltrate our bodies, and that's when we need to sit back and let our immune system do its job. But when it comes to getting sick, not all immune systems are equal. Some people seem to get sick much more often than others. One could easily conclude that these individuals, such as elementary school teachers or hospital workers, are merely exposed to sick people more often. But susceptibility to illness isn't as simple as the odds of being exposed to someone with a cold. Each person gets sick differently. And this brings up the topic of this film. In 1956, the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service, the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, and the Office for Human Research Protections have discovered a disease that can somehow transform a human both mentally and physically into an animal. This disease is called zookemia. Zookemia, also known as wild animal syndrome, is a disease that can transform a human by mentally changing the brain and physically changing the body into an animal humanoid-like creature. It can do this in many different ways, such as reconstructing a person's DNA. DNA is a biological molecule that contains the instructions an organism needs to function, develop, and reproduce. It is present in all forms of life on Earth and contains each organism's genetic code. Zookemia can genetically mutate the molecules inside a human's DNA. As zookemia changes your body's DNA, it creates many different kinds of disorders and syndromes a person would only be able to get genetically at birth. So far we only know 22 disorders and syndromes that it can produce. Zookemia can sometimes cause a person to have dwarfism or gigantism. However, it is an extremely rare case for a human to change in size from this disease. Zookemia can cause a person to have occult spinal dysraphism, or commonly known as a tail. While usually occult spinal dysraphism refers to a broad spectrum of skin-covered congenital spinal anomalies, including midline mesenchymal, neural, and bony elements. Zookemia causes the spinal cord to develop a extensively longer coccyx or tailbone which can grow from 13 centimeters to 3 feet long. Zookemia can also cause the DNA to have Marfan syndrome. Marfan syndrome is a genetic disorder that affects the body's connective tissues, which support and hold organs and other structures in place. Like Marfan syndrome, zookemia can create these symptoms: having flat feet, tall stature with long slender limbs and fingers, like having longer arms, longer legs, or both. Zookemia can cause the human skull to have occipital horn syndrome, a rare X-linked recessive disorder characterized by abnormalities in connective tissue, bones, and copper metabolism. But unlike occipital horn syndrome, zookemia allows the skull to produce antlers or horns that can be made of bone, keratin, cartilage, or ossicones. It can also cause a cutaneous horn. A cutaneous horn is a hard conical projection from the skin, made of compact keratin. The horns can vary in size from 8 inches to 13 feet long. The antlers can vary in size from 5 centimeters to 12 feet long. There are only 4 kinds of horns and 4 kinds of antlers that we were able to identify from the patients that had zookemia. There were reindeer antlers, deer antlers, elk antlers, moose antlers, cow horns, goat horns, buffalo horns, and rhino horns. It is extremely rare for zookemia to give a human cyanomelia or mermaid syndrome. Unlike mermaid syndrome, zookemia can transform the human feet into tail flukes. A few months ago we had discovered a new form of zookemia that can turn humans into snake-like humanoid creatures. She was seen around Japan's shorelines back in 2010, and was brought back to the United States for further research. Zookemia can change a human's skin appearance. It can create spots similar to that of Noonan syndrome, are commonly known as leopard syndrome. These spots can look like jaguar spots, leopard spots, or cheetah spots. It can make stripes like incontinentia pigmenti, are also known as Bloch-Sulzberger syndrome. It can cause the human to have hard-plated skin the same way that harlequin ichthyosis does. Zookemia can create ichthyosis, or commonly known as fish scale disease. This can make the skin to either have fish scales or reptile skin. Zookemia can also allow the human body to grow fur the same way as hypertrichosis or werewolf syndrome does. The density of fur can vary from 0.05 millimeters to 40 inches long. Zookemia can cause a human's body to be thicker or fatter than normal, like Madelung disease, and can create abnormally thick bones the way Camurati-Engelmann disease does. But unlike Madelung disease and Camurati-Engelmann disease, it makes a person be bigger, heavier, and more stronger than most humans. In other words, zookemia can make a person be like a human version of an elephant. Zookemia can change a human's vision. It can give a person cat eye syndrome. Cat eye syndrome is a rare genetic disorder characterized by a distinctive appearance of the eyes resembling the eyes of a cat. Unlike cat eye syndrome, it can give a human the ability to see the world like cats do. Zookemia can also give a person a goat or sheep-like eyes. The goat and sheep's eye is similar to a human eye, with a lens, cornea, iris, and retina. A crucial difference, though, is that the retina is shaped like a rectangle. This can somehow cause achromatopsia. Achromatopsia is a condition characterized by a partial or total absence of color vision. People with achromatopsia cannot perceive any colors. They see only black, white, and shades of gray. Zookemia can change the human fingernails or toenails into claws. Non-syndromic congenital nail disorder 10 is a condition that affects the fingernails and toenails. Affected individuals have extremely thick nails called the onychoxis that separate from the underlying nail bed called the onycholysis and can appear claw-like. A true claw is made of a hard protein called keratin. Claws are used to catch and hold prey in carnivorous mammals such as lions and wolves, but may also be used for such purposes as digging, climbing trees, self-defense and grooming, in those and other species. Zookemia can also create webbed hands and feet like syndactyly. Syndactyly is a congenital condition where two or more fingers or toes are joined together. Unlike syndactyly, zookemia can transform the hands and feet to be interdigital webbing. This refers to the skin membranes that connect the toes and fingers. The human brain differs from animal brains primarily in its significantly larger size relative to body size. A highly developed cerebral cortex responsible for complex cognitive functions like language and reasoning, and unique neural connections that allow for advanced abilities like abstract thought and complex social interaction, which are not seen to the same degree in other animals. Essentially, the human brain has a more intricate structure enabling superior cognitive capabilities compared to most animals. Humans have several instincts, but zookemia somehow inputs animal instincts within the human brain. In recent studies of zookemia patients, they seem to show self-preservation instincts, territorial instincts, reproductive instincts, migratory instincts, herding instincts, play instincts, emotional instincts, curiosity instincts, maternal instincts, language instincts, hunting instincts, fleeing instincts, fighting instincts, social instincts, imitation instincts, foraging instincts, and hygienic instincts. Some of these instincts can sometimes make a human with zookemia extremely dangerous. There are many different signs that show humans with zookemia. Signs of dominance aggression in humans include excessive interrupting, loud voice tone, prolonged eye contact, taking up physical space, dismissive body language, overly assertive behavior, belittling others, making threats, initiating conflicts, controlling conversations, and using power dynamics to manipulate situations, often accompanied by a confident and sometimes intimidating posture. Signs of food aggression in humans include becoming visibly upset or defensive when someone approaches their food, guarding their plate with their hands or utensils, making verbal threats to not touch their food, extreme possessiveness over certain foods, exhibiting physical tension when food is shared, and becoming irritable or angry when their food is interrupted or taken away, even in a playful manner. Signs of territorial aggression in humans include excessive guarding of personal space, intense staring, verbal threats when boundaries are crossed, physical posturing like chest puffing, defensive body language, hostility towards perceived intruders in their area, actively marking or claiming territory, and becoming overly protective of belongings. Often accompanied by verbal cues like raised voice, aggressive tone, and possessive language. Signs of mating aggression in humans can include excessive jealousy, overt displays of dominance, verbal threats or insults towards potential rivals, physical intimidation, close guarding of a partner, attempts to undermine a partner's relationships with others, and in extreme cases, physical violence directed towards perceived competitors for a mate. When it comes to self-defense, people with zookemia do it differently than normal people. Carnivorous zookemia people defend themselves primarily through physical aggression, using their sharp teeth, claws, and powerful jaws to fight off potential threats, often by displaying intimidation tactics like growling, snarling, or charging at attackers. Herbivorous zookemia people defend themselves from predators primarily through camouflage, swift movement, group behavior, keen senses, and sometimes warning coloration, depending on the species. allowing them to either avoid detection, quickly escape, or signal to predators that they are not a good meal due to potential toxins or unpleasant taste. If a person is attacked by someone who has zookemia, this can result from having minor injuries to be brutally massacred. A criminal in Georgia had been arrested and faces rape and other charges after state police say he held a woman in her home last week who left him with dozens of scratches as she fought back. A booking photo shows the criminal with dozens of scratches on his chest, neck, shoulders, and face. He said those injuries came from the woman's efforts to resist the attack. He also mentioned how the woman's self-defense tactics was more animal than human. When he tried to grab her, she began clawing viciously at him in the chest, shoulders, neck, and face. She then jumped over him and attempted to bite him in the neck from behind. But before she could bite him, he managed to grab her arm and threw her over his shoulders. The woman hit her head on the wall and was knocked unconscious. The rest of the information is too graphic for this film. These are some video footages of people with zookemia. The first video shows a man trying to escape from the police by trying to bite them.
Stop it! Stop it! Relax. Stop! Can you pull the bed back?
Be careful, Eddie.
I don't feel good. I don't feel good. Help me, please.
Stop trying to bite me. What's your problem?
Help me!
Trying to bite me, man. Watch your hand, bud.
Help me, please!
Move! Brian, relax. Brian, relax. Here. Watch out, Eddie. Brian, relax. Relax.
Hey, this is something bad for you, dude. Keep resisting us, okay? You need to relax.
This next video shows a man was growling inside an airplane. He was aggravated about an elderly Asian woman being on the airplane. A customer was hissing at a waitress in a restaurant because the waitress tried to take an empty plate from the customer's table. People who have zookemia will drift away from society. They will stop thinking like a human and begin thinking like an animal. This means they will not want anything to do with civilization and man-made resources. They won't desire things like houses or apartments, technology, medicines, currency, and even clothing. Some people with zookemia may pose a significant danger to society, while some individuals may not. People who have zookemia would rather live in the wilderness than in civilization. Some zookemia patients have been caught by local authorities while others are still roaming free. There is no known cure for zookemia, but it is still being studied by scientists to this very day. We are not sure how people can catch zookemia. For now, all we can do is practice healthy habits, which includes washing our hands, eating a healthy diet, and get regular checkups with a doctor or nurse. While humans and animals are not able to mate with each other due to physical and genetic differences, a person with zookemia is classified as an anthropomorphic humanoid creature. So therefore it may be possible for a human to mate with a zookemia person. However, humans that are lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender and queer would never be able to mate with people with zookemia. The reason for this is because how the brain works when someone has zookemia. In humans, love is a complex experience that involves many brain chemicals and regions, including the limbic system, the reward circuit, and the caudate nucleus. In animals, love is primarily understood as a form of bonding behavior driven by the release of hormones like oxytocin, which creates feelings of attachment and positive social connection, similar to how humans experience love. This is particularly evident in mother-infant bonds and pair bonding in monogamous species, with the brain regions associated with reward and pleasure also being activated during these interactions. Since humans cannot literally or physically change their gender before or after birth, zookemia makes people fall in love in two ways, male and female, or female and male. It's how zookemia people reproduce young so the species doesn't become extinct. Just because someone with zookemia is part human and part animal, doesn't mean that he or she will behave like a normal human. Zookemia can make people become very unpredictable, which can make them extremely dangerous to humans. A person with zookemia is no different than a wild animal. We will now teach you how to protect yourself against a person with zookemia. If you encounter a person with zookemia in the wild, you should, Step 1. Stay calm. Avoid panicking as sudden movements may provoke the person with zookemia. Do not try to approach it, touch it, or offer to feed it. This will only make the situation more dangerous. Step 2. Assess the situation. A person with zookemia can be either a carnivore or a herbivore. Determine the type of zookemia species the person is and its behavior. Step 3. Retreat slowly. Avoid running because running can make the person with zookemia think you're prey and may chase you. Running can also cause you to trip and hurt yourself. Move slowly away from the person with zookemia and get as far away from it as possible. All creatures have one thing in common, and that is the fight or flight response. The fight or flight response is a physiological reaction that occurs in response to a perceived threat or danger. It is an automatic, involuntary response that prepares the body to either confront the threat or escape from it. If you or somebody is being attacked by a person with zookemia in the wild, you should. Step 1. Stay calm. Step 2. Do not run. Running can trigger a chase instinct in some people with zookemia. Step 3. Do not believe in survival myths. Old survival myths have been passed down from generation to generation, and very few of them are actually true. However, none of the myths about animal survival are true. Doing old animal survival myths like, for example, if you're being attacked by a bear you should play dead, or if you are bitten by a venomous snake you should suck the venom out, can result into injury or worse, death. Step 4. Make yourself look bigger. Raise your arms, open your jacket, and stand tall to appear threatening. This can make a zookemia person be afraid of you, which might cause it to run away. Step 5. Make loud noises. Yelling loudly, clapping your hands, or banging objects together can scare off the zookemia person. Step 6. Fight back. If a zookemia person is attacking you, use anything you can find to defend yourself while aiming for sensitive areas like the eyes and nose. Step 7. Protect yourself. If attacked by a zookemia person, the most vital areas of the body to protect is your neck, face, and head. If you are knocked down, try to curl into a ball to shield your vital organs with your arms, protecting your chest and abdomen as well. Step 8. Seek medical attention. Even if the injuries seem minor, you should always seek medical attention after being attacked by a zookemia person. Step 9. Call 911. If you or somebody close by has a phone, call the authorities and report about the person or people with zookemia in your area. You should also call Zookemia Control by dialing 248-434-5508. Doing this will keep your community safe from zookemia attacks. Doing all these steps can ensure your chances of survival and will keep your family and loved ones safe. Thank you for watching this film and have a blessed day.